listen, she's a beautiful young lady. And there's a lot of beautiful young ladies in the WNBA. But when you do that, you can't come down the line and complain about being objectified later on. It's not going to work with people. Whether it's right or wrong, it's not going to work. And when you do stuff like that and you're drawing attention to yourself because of that, that can be problematic for you.
Picture this on New Year's Eve. Angel Reese shares a picture that is more look at me than game on the internet, and Stephen A. Smith reacts negatively. After that, Reese's social media accounts go dark, but here's the part that I like about the backlash. It's obvious that a lot of people can't handle it, so perhaps you shouldn't expose yourself to it. Reese's journey is a warning to athletes everywhere, but don't worry, we're not just here to break it. Smith didn't hold back when he called out Reese's attention-seeking behavior and compared her to the always professional Caitlin Clark. You won't believe what he said about how Reese's desperate cries for attention are affecting her future in the WNBA. Are you ready to let it go, especially when the comparison is made to Caitlin Clark, who isn't doing such things? I'm not saying it's unfair, and you certainly have the right to live your life as you choose, but people have the right to express their opinions about what you put on display, and if they don't like it and think it's not the right thing for you to be. When you talk about building your brand, I don't know how you can argue that Tori, the clock is ticking toward midnight, and Angel Reese is wearing a stunning dress that is ready to be married in 2025, but her fans weren't particularly thrilled with this show. Reese posted this video on Instagram, probably thinking that it would make the internet go crazy, but it backfired big time. Her fans were saying things like, "What were you thinking, and what were you thinking, and what were you thinking?" Her daughters were fully aware that daddy had better damn well not see an outfit like that on social media. I'm not judging, I'm talking about my daughters. I swear to you, I better not see that. They could be in college in Los Angeles, Boston, or anywhere else in between. Daddy will drop the mic hop in the car, on the plane, or wherever I'm going. That's not going to happen, that's me. So what got everyone so worked up was a picture of Reese wearing a dress called Barely There that barely covered anything, posing and strutting in ways that made people do double takes. This wasn't your typical New Year's attire. It was designed to draw attention, and boy, did it ever. As things heated up, Reese's social media went silent, and then her Instagram disappeared. Let's be honest, this isn't just about a dress. It's about a young athlete who may have just heard her own image. Reese is 22 years old, and in the sports world, that's old enough to know better. Now, everyone is wondering what's next for Reese, but before we can even catch our breath, Stephen A. Smith offers his opinion, and trust me, you'll want to hear what he has to say about Reese's New Year's surprise. Let's call it what it is. I'm not saying that she should be criticized or that she is incorrect. I'm saying that by pulling it. Clearly, you felt that something was wrong, and you know it's serious when Stephen A. Smith joins the conversation. Smith didn't just leave a comment, though he went into full-blown dad mode about Angel Reese's New Year's stunt. And then, let's examine his reaction because it's hilarious. Yes, you are young, you are 22, and there are many things that we didn't want people to know about when we were her age. I understand that there was no social media at the time, but she is not stupid. She is a brilliant young woman. In addition to being extremely intelligent and successful, she is aware of the existence of social media and has used it to her advantage. Therefore, when you take that into account, you're aware of the images and perception that you're resisting creating about yourself. First, Smith called out Reese's hypocrisy before you could say double standard, pointing out that you can't later complain about being objectified that will leave a mark. But wait, there's more. Smith wasn't about to let Reese off the hook that easily. This is where it gets interesting. Contrast, guess who emerged as the shining example of how to manage your brand? That's Caitlin Clark, the one who has been dominating both on and off the court without any hint of controversy. Here's what I have wrong with Tori Angel Reese, because let's face it, she will be somewhat attached to Caitlin Clark if Kay hadn't waved her hand in her face when LSU was defeating Iowa in the national championship Final Four. If that hadn't happened, Angel Reese's name might not be as well known. Smith didn't mince any words when he said, but what's undeniable is that Caitlin Clark has done a fantastic job with her branding, while with Angel Reese, sometimes you find yourself wondering what the hell she's doing, like that picture right there. It's a clear-cut comparison, but Smith's criticism goes beyond just a striking image. He's questioning Reese's priorities, asking whether she's an influencer or an athlete, and whether she can be both. It's like watching a high-stakes identity tug-of-war, and Reese appears to be losing. You must realize that no matter how you leave your house, you are now Angel Reese, and you will always be criticized. Unfortunately, this comes with the crown, so you must be mindful of what comes with it. Smith's guest added fuel to the fire by saying that Reese is desperate for attention, as if she were playing a game of Notice Me while the rest of the sports world is trying to concentrate on actual games. This is where it gets real, Smith. He was spot on when he said that when you do things like that and draw attention to yourself, that can be problematic for you. It might have been a right or wrong decision, depending on how she feels or how other people feel. I'm just saying that even though she's not Caitlin Clark, she's going to be reminded that she's not Caitlin Clark with every good thing that Caitlin Clark does, because that was her number one miss in a lot of people's odd number one. Let's be honest for a moment. Isn't just about what you do on the court, it's also about how you carry yourself off it. At the moment, Reese's off-court antics are overshadowing her game. Smith says that Reese needs to make a difficult decision quickly because in the fast-paced world of professional sports, a star's actions can quickly turn into a cautionary tale. She deleted account number 2 after being spotted in a number of interviews and talking about threats, insults, and tears about how people were treating her with such venom and hostility, especially during her final year at LSU. So what's next for Angel Reese? Will she take Smith's advice to heart and improve her game, or will she continue to focus on her attention-seeking behavior? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: the ball is in her court. Let's talk about the shining example Smith compared Reese to. If you've watched this far and are enjoying the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications we know. We appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, but let's get back to the action. Caitlin Clark is the reason I bring her up, because they are very close to each other, which means that they will eventually be compared to Tori. When you look at Caitlin Clark, she is B. She is a Rookie of the Year and was among the finalists for League MVP honors as a rookie, breaking all kinds of records. She should have been on Team USA, but she chose not to play in an unmatched league. Her brand building has been incredibly impressive, and while Angel Reese is creating drama, Caitlin Clark is living her best life. We can't be more different. Clark has been busy, and for good reason. She spoke at a recent women's forum in Massachusetts, hung out with football greats Jason and Travis Kelce on their podcast, and even won numerous Athlete of the Year awards. Oh, and she's been in the gym several times with new head coach Stephanie White. It's amazing to see the contrast between Reese's struggles on social media and Clark's out there making moves and talking about different priorities. However, we must remember that she is not KLN Clark, and we cannot ask her to be anyone else but herself, especially not right now. We want you to be yourself, and we love to see the wonderful aspects of your journey, but we also need to keep in mind that she is 22 years old. The media is adoring this story, and it's like a sports movie come true. Clark is receiving praise for her skills and behavior off the court, but that's a different story. Let's look at what Clark is doing. While everyone is talking about Reese drama, she's inspiring kids by demonstrating to girls that they can be successful and respected without drama. We know that everyone has their own taste, their own flavor, and their own rights, but there are other people who will exercise their rights to be. Extremely critical of it. And I'm not even referring to the clothing that Angel Reese is wearing. I'm talking about the pressure of having to be compared as a brand to someone who's conducting their branding with near perfection. That's what I'm saying, Tori, whether she likes it or not. In sports, how you handle fame matters, and Clark is demonstrating to everyone how it's done. All it takes is talent, hard work, and composure to stay relevant. The difference between the two is obvious. Clark is all about basketball, while Reese is making headlines for other reasons. At the end of the day, it's about managing pressure, fame, and responsibility. Demonstrating that you can be a star without the drama, and that's the kind of victory that lasts. Your bosses are always watching you, whether directly or indirectly, so whether you're wearing a nice dress, walking the red carpet, vacationing on the beach, or anything else, what you post is what they're looking at, because they're attempting to gauge your intentions based on what they see. Now let's talk about the price of fame, people. While scandalous posts may get more likes than a scoreboard over time, do they really pay the bills? We're talking about a cool $1. Bills turns out that they kind of do, or at least they did before this whole fiasco. Reese was sitting good with endorsement deals from big companies like Amazon and Reebok Beats by Dre. $8 million isn't bad for a 22-year-old, isn't it? But the problem is that those lucrative partnerships are in danger of failing because brands aren't exactly willing to be linked to controversy. It's like Reese just fumbled the bag and is now trying to get better. I don't want Adidas or Nike to reject her because they don't think she's marketable, because that's the pain I felt for her in this situation. But I want her to know that if she's listening, we're excited to see you bring back that gorgeous Instagram page and just learn from it. Wild Reese had a whopping 5 million Instagram followers before she went dark, which is a lot of eyes and potential influence gone in the blink of an eye. But wait, let's talk about the long-term effects. Will WNBA teams think twice the next time Reese's contract is up for renewal? Reese's social media antics cost him a lot of money in endorsements. Could Reese be taking the same risk? Bench her career more quickly than a coach's poor decision, and younger kids today can't see this either. 40 years from now, you post that picture and you don't know what will happen to you 40 years from now. Finally, if you're a young person in today's world and you have social media and you're big time, keep in mind that you need to have advisors around you, both paid advisors and people who knew you before your fame. That's great advice. Because let's be honest for a moment, Reese is only 22 years old. Are we being too harsh or not harsh enough? The takeaway is that fame is a double-edged sword, and Reese just learned that the hard way. However, in sports, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. Let's see if she can turn this turnover into a comeback story for the ages. If you're worried that she doesn't have the right people in her corner, it's like watching a rookie try to navigate the court without a solid game plan. This is where it gets tricky. What about the younger fans who look up to Reese? Is this the example she wants to set?